Yo, 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 yo. What's up, people? We is back. We is back. And we got a Memphis police officer on the stand. Just got on the stand, so we ain't missed nothing. Hit that like and subscribe to the channel, support the movement.
50% more today. The ground beef is up almost 50%.
Make the dream work, Pepe.
Ship doesn't only make shipping smart.
Right now, what we dealing with?
You can track.
We talked to the earlier today. We went live. The prosecution was interviewing a cell phone technician. Right now, Justin Johnson, defense attorney, is a technician. Yeah, that boy numbers right now. So everybody telling you, if anybody tell you this case is open and shut and Justin Johnson is done, they don't know what the fuck they talking about, because this man is doing a masterful job. I'm talking about, man, technician. The best way I can explain it.
Expert in the extraction end. On the analysis, I do a lot of records, certified, and so about the last 9-10 years,
at the end, but first let's hear about your investigation surrounding the murder of Dolph. I think what I'll do is ask you a few substantive questions about that investigation.
Hit that like button.
At the end, but first let's hear about your special qualifications and experience with cell phone analysis, cell phone extractions.
Oh man, you still got your back up here?
So about the last 9-10 years, I've been analyzing cell phone images and extraction and dealing in call detail records, which is what you just saw. I'm not an expert like he is, but I have been trained and certified in Cellbrite, XRY, Penlink, which is one of the softwares you use.
And right now, y'all think the defense is doing their thing.
See in the records, and I use them on a day-to-day basis for about the last 10 years.
Have you done that in the course of numerous investigations? Have you looked at, let's back up, when you said you're not a
Dwayne, what it do?
You're talking about Mr. Gardner?
Oh, yeah.
Whose expertise the jury heard was on cell phone location testimony. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you have expertise in those cell phone extractions and analysis of those extractions?
Cell phone
I haven't been
extraction.
certified. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in the extraction end. On the analysis, I do a lot of analysis. Garner does phones every single day. And that's what his primary job is. I'm an investigator. I utilize those tools to find evidence. Garner can dive into the phones and actually get the evidence that I need.
We have reviewed hundreds of cell phone extractions, is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
Looking for evidence?
Yes.
In other investigations?
Other investigations.
And numerous cell phones in this investigation?
Numerous cell phones in this investigation.
And how many years you say you've been doing that sort of stuff?
10 years.
And are you, tell me if I'm using the right word, when I look at a cell phone extraction, it's some program called Cellbrite?
Cellbrite is one of them, yes.
Okay. Is that one of the programs you use to look at the extractions?
Yes.
And is there more programs that you use too?
Yes, there are more programs.
All right. And are you familiar with navigating all those programs and been trained on those programs?
Yes.
So he's a cell phone extractionist, y'all.
With regard to the results and your analysis of cell phone extractions in the counties in Shelby County before?
Yes.
In courts? Or several times?
Maybe 1 or 2 times.
In this case, I'm talking about the murder of Dolph.
Yes.
Did you have occasion to analyze several cell phones?
I did.
And when they start using nicknames to represent people in trial,
occasion to
it clout chasing.
analyze cell phone extraction from the defendant Justin Johnson's phone? In the course of doing that, did you also analyze cell phone extractions from other phones as well, like Cornelius Smith's phone?
Cornelius Smith's phone,
Like
Angela Arnold,
Angela Arnold's phone? Like Treon Ingram's phone? And other individuals. In preparation for your testimony today, you and I spoke, and I asked you to look at certain things. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Certain things regarding Mr. Johnson's phone. And did you do that?
I did.
And in fact, did you prepare a report outlining some of those things?
I did.
Let me pass you this. I should recognize it.
This is my report.
And
The like button, y'all. We got one like.
it's
free, y'all. Tap the screen twice. Bing, bing.
Justin Johnson, cellular device 236-1625. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's the first page.
That is correct.
And in that report, before we go through it, in that report, does it isolate particular
Thank you. Whoever just hit the like button.
particular communications? Maybe an image or two,
Thank you.
and other things in the case.
Correct.
Now read off of that evidence to say sex numbers.
Okay.
Several things, I do not know the exact amount. Several things,
Yo, the defense been tearing these witnesses in shreds. Not saying he gonna get found not guilty, but he's doing a great job of defending his client. Clemson, what it is?
My count may be bad, but I think it's 25 pages for it.
Bit cooler.
Right, if we could publish this to the jury, I'm going to ask you some questions as we go, Detective, okay? And we'll start just that front page. What's this information over to the left here?
So this is just an overview and an extraction report. So as you see, I highlight, usually what I'll do is just highlight things. Obviously, I'm not going to highlight the telephone number, but if there's anything that kind of identifies the user that sticks out,
How do you see that shit?
aliases and things like that, it appears to be their full name on this highlight. So essentially, I highlighted Justin T. Johnson 123 at gmail.com.
Okay, that's the Apple ID Gmail account.
Correct.
Or to the phone. We can go back.
What was that?
That's the Apple ID or Gmail account for the phone.
Correct.
And target number 236-1625.
Correct.
Asked you to look at certain text messages within a certain time frame. Is that correct?
That's correct.
If we flip the page to the next, we see one of those. All right, tell me what we got here.
So right here we have November 16th, 2021, at 6:10 p.m. We have Treon Ingram.
Oh, that's Treon right there, y'all.
The outgoing text, which is a photo of what appears to be like a white Mercedes-Benz. And then this was actually pulled from Treon Ingram's cellular device. So this was
Oh, he got a picture of the Benz in the phone. There we
Day
go.
before the murder,
He still made it clear. Jesus Christ.
outgoing from Treon Ingram.
correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Incoming to Justin Johnson's phone.
Correct.
Mm.
When you pull it in self-right river program you're looking at, this is what it sort of comes up as. Is that correct?
Yeah, but this
Correct.
still not.
It looks like it would your regular phone, but on the side, as you can see below it, that will have just the information associated with that text message.
here's the blown up photo, is that correct?
Correct.
And that is at 6:10 p.m. day before the murder.
Day before the murder.
All right, thanks.
Okay, so he's trying to prove that. All right, so let me tell y'all what's going on for people that's confused. So if y'all remember, Justin Johnson, defense attorney, was saying that there's no way that you can prove that my client traded those cars. You know, because the prosecution theory is that Justin Johnson got the Benz and he traded at the Valero gas station. Right? Now, excuse me. Now, Justin Johnson, what it is, Pablo? Now, Justin Johnson never went to the gas station, so you really couldn't see him. Trayon went to the gas station, but Justin Johnson didn't. So, what happened is they traded cars. Justin Johnson had gave Q50 Infinity, and he gave Justin Johnson the Benz. This is the state's third. But you couldn't see the transaction. Couldn't see the transaction. So the defense attorney said there's no way possible you could say that my client traded cars with him at this gas station because you couldn't see him. So this is text messages. Well, what the state is trying to provide is text messages showing that they were in contact around this same time that this car got transferred. Still speculatory, but it's evidence, you know. Let the jury digest it however they gonna digest it. It's still not concrete.
Be November 17th, 2021, the day of the murder, at 2:58 a.m. And it's a outgoing text message to Treon Ingram. And it's going to be a location drop. And then the location that was dropped is going to be 1168 Bradley Street, Memphis, Tennessee, 381.
From Justin Johnson's phone.
I want to say the defense attorney going to explain that.
2:58 a.m. the morning of the murder.
Correct.
Do you know this address, 1168 Bradley Street?
He's been doing a great job explaining everything else.
1174 Bradley. So if I think it's if you're facing it. Yeah. So I think it's like that. It would be. If you're facing 1174, it's going to be right there to the left.
And what's the significance of Bradley Street and or those addresses?
So 1174 is the actual driveway, but where the white Mercedes-Benz was found. But I think it's kind of that driveway sits in between both houses.
And you say drop the location. That is Johnson sending a location to Treon Ingram at 2:58, and it's at Bradley location.
Yeah, so the location drop. It's actually when you look at it from.
He sent him a location.
It looks like he just dropped his location.
1168 Bradley Street.
This is where I am.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, son. Now this is not pulled from the phone. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Just to put the slide we just saw in context.
Correct.
3:16 a.m.
Yeah, see, man, I was just telling y'all.
This is a video that has already been played at trial as part of Exhibit 5. Where is this at?
This is going to be the Valero gas station at 853 South Highland.
I was a Q40. I thought it was a Q50.
Two cars highlighted.
This is going to be the white Mercedes-Benz and the Q40. I think it was an Infinity. And essentially, I was using it to match
Q40.
up for
That's the Benz.
the location drop. So we're trying to figure out what's called the, with this, I think the call logs you were able to track to see where they went after that.
Bradley location drop and some.
Yo, hit that like button. Y'all got 3 likes, y'all.
We have the white Mercedes.
It's free as a motherfucker. Y'all don't understand why people
That's correct.
can't tap. Just tap the screen twice.
Enters the store here.
All you gotta do.
That's true.
We can proceed to the next slide.
And then this is going to be a zoomed in still shot of the surveillance video. We were just trying to see if we could get a better view of where we were told they met, just you some air pumps or something on the back end, and that was at 3:22:19 a.m. And that was about as good as we could get as far as zooming into the photo.
And this is it. Is this the individual that gets in the Mercedes and drives away?
That's correct. They kind of do like a switch, like one gets out, the other gets in. It was just very hard to tell distinctively who that individual was.
Absolutely. Would you agree with me? It's impossible to tell from even the zoom in who that individual is just from the picture?
No, maybe that they have gray pants on. That's about it.
Now you can't see him. Say they gray. That bitch could be motherfucking black. So no, they can't be black.
10:51 a.m. Tell me what we're looking at.
That's correct. 10:51 to 10:55. This is going to be on November 17th at 10:51 a.m. And this is a photo.
They could be like teal or something, though.
Justin
Like a
Johnson,
teal green.
wearing a blue hoodie, gray sweatpants,
Cream.
and black shoes with white stripes, and the Bass Pro Shop hat. And it looks like it's going to be his daughter just standing.
Oh, we can't even see the picture, y'all. What the fuck is y'all doing?
Were you aware through the investigation that he was living there across town?
Correct.
They looking at this picture, y'all, but we can't see it.
It's the white Mercedes Benz.
And that is leaving the garage at 10:55. So, well, pretty much 10:56, 56 seconds. So
See, y'all, the problem is, for people that just came in, the problem is, let me get y'all the problem. The problem is, and this is what Justin Johnson, defense attorney, brought up, is though you got video of this car coming and going into his mother complex, you never see Justin Johnson get in it or out of it. All you do is see the car driving, and then you see Justin Johnson maybe a few minutes later walking into his mother's house. Now, some people can say, you know, you can put two and two together, but it's still not irrefutable. Not saying that he can't get found guilty, because jurors can find you guilty of this type of evidence. I just want to give people understanding of, you know, what we're dealing with. Common sense would say that's probably him, but they can't judge. The jury can't judge off of common sense.
Correct.
10:54 a.m. So it's actually be in that time period that we just saw. Is that correct?
Justin Johnson, we found he places an outgoing call to Cornelius Smith. With
That like
zero
button, y'all.
duration. So essentially, it was a missed call. Tried to contact him. There was no communication, no voicemail picked up.
Okay. Next slide.
11:57 a.m. We have an outgoing call to Treon Ingram from Justin Johnson, and that call was about 4 minutes. Right over 4 minutes long.
What a time limit at? Oh, duration 17 seconds.
Then we have it on November 17th at 12:04:32 p.m. We have an outgoing call from Justin Johnson to Cornelius Smith, and that duration is about 17 seconds.
And we are within 20 minutes.
I don't see the 4 minute conversation.
21 minutes of the homicide. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that call you said has duration?
17 seconds.
12:23. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's another thing too. What they're doing is, yo, they connecting. So this is what the state is doing right now. They're connecting the cell phone data, the text messaging, the video camera support, and they trying to make it one. Basically saying all of these things line up to Justin Johnson and where he was at during the time of the murder and what he did after the murder. But it's still circumstantial evidence. That's what makes it circumstantial, because it's not concrete. You know, it's not, I seen him at the scene at this particular time. It's all, you know, circumstantial evidence. But like I gotta say, you can be found guilty of circumstantial evidence.
November 17th, 2021 at 12:23:06 p.m. Justin Johnson
I like
receives
button.
an incoming call from his mother, and that duration is 0, and that time frame was significant for me and the investigators because that was at the same time frame that the homicide was being committed.
And no durations, I think I just said before, nobody picks up, no voicemail, just No connection.
And they actually had an abnormal completion code, which indicates, like, if you look at the service codes, that it had some kind of network interruption that could be nothing significant, but essentially he never picked up or the call might have not gone through.
This is during the same time of the shooting? Called his mother?
25
Up, big jump.
p.m. directly murder time frame or after, is that correct?
Correct. 12:25:40, Justin Johnson places an outgoing call to Anthony Mims, and it's got a 2-second duration, which appears probably to go unanswered.
This is
Oh, you can't say too much in 2 seconds.
right after homicide.
Correct.
Who's Anthony Mims?
That's Big Jook, one of the, he's like the number 2 on CMG record label.
And how's Big Jook identified in Justin Johnson's phone?
Under Jook.
As Jook.
Big Jip is ready to crash the whole ship.
Okay, so here
Being
is
stupid.
12:26:50 p.m. on November 17, 2021, and it's a FaceTime audio. So this is an actual identity lookup service. So what this was, essentially this was pulled from the file system. And so this isn't the
I can't
actual
believe Jook was that fucking
FaceTime
stupid.
communication. And this, because those were deleted. So they were missing from the call logs. You can see though in the file system, the actual phone will access certain things.
Oh, he tried to delete the
So
call.
The
Shit
only
don't work.
thing that was remaining, because you can delete and move things. Like you can operate and manipulate your physical phone, but you can't get rid of anything on the file system. It determines when it's appropriate to get rid of it. And so the only thing we found was that there was some type of application with the FaceTime audio that was accessed by FaceTime, and then it identified.
Hey, and that corroborates Cornelius Smith's story. Remember, he said after the shooting, Justin Johnson FaceTime. So that's good for the state. He said Justin Johnson FaceTime Jook.
Phone number 901-692-2767, which we were able to identify to be Anthony Mims' telephone number.
So this is about a minute
More
after
likely.
the
More likely he gonna get
call
found
we
guilty.
just saw.
That's correct.
But the defense is putting up a hell of a case, man. Hell of a case.
Or
I'm impressed.
FaceTime, right? FaceTime, Justin Johnson to Big Jook.
Correct. Well, an interaction, we're not necessarily sure which direction, just the
Your cousin went
interaction.
crazy. Fall out.
FaceTime interaction between Justin Johnson's phone
Correct.
and Big Jook's phone.
Correct.
Okay,
It occurred. There's something that the phone accessed.
very good.
The lawyer probably gonna say you can't say he made
Right
these
here
calls.
is, November 17th, 2021.
That's gonna be the defense.
12:39. So at 12:39:07, Justin Johnson places an outgoing call to Kiana Hooper. And then at 12:39:56, Justin Johnson receives an incoming text from Kiana Hooper. And then at 12:53 p.m., Justin Johnson places an outgoing call to Kiana Hooper. And the first call, which was at 12:39:07, lasted about 15 seconds. And then the last call, which is at 12:53 p.m., the duration was about 28 seconds.
And do you know who Kiana Hooper is?
His cousin, and that's the apartment to after the homicide.
Next slide.
Oh, there a lot of calling. Yo, was tripping. People had a
The next
burner phone.
slide is the actual, so the text message, that was just the record showing the text message. This is the actual text message that Justin Johnson received. It's 12:39:57
Man, sweet to London.
p.m. And it's her address, which is 4752 Haven Court.
So
I hope she don't still live there.
Apartments.
That's correct.
Shit.
Used to be called the Two Lanes.
That's correct.
Next slide.
I don't even see that.
And after that, you have at 12:47.
Yeah, he was dead wrong for putting his brother in that situation.
Justin Johnson sends that address, 4752, to Jermaine Sears.
How did you establish that number was Jermaine Sears?
We use law enforcement databases.
So now this is corroborating. This is corroborating the extra cars pulling up. If y'all can remember, when he got to his cousin's house, another car pulled up. That must be Jermaine Sears.
Information within the text message that helped to identify him, just by his real name and things of that nature. And then also, we ended up contacting him to try to talk to him
On that number?
on that number. And we were referred to his attorney. He's actually it appeared to be living out of town, so we gotta let it be.
Hope they don't got these numbers no more.
The next slide is going to be at 12:40:30. So this text is essentially immediately after. He says, "Now, bro, I need you now." And that's an outgoing text from Justin Johnson to Jermaine Sears.
I don't see none of these texts.
Next slide.
And then at 12:47:51, you have Jermaine Sears sending an incoming text to Justin Johnson saying that he's on his way. I'm on my way.
Next slide.
And then this is an outgoing call at 12:58:59, and this is going to be from Justin Johnson to Kiana Hoover. It lasts it's a duration of about 12 seconds.
What's this here?
So this is Jermaine Sears. This was unique as this was inside. It was a photo that Justin Johnson had from a text between Jermaine Sears, and that vehicle was important to us because that's the vehicle that shows up at Haven Court on surveillance.
Yep. That motherfucker nice.
Nice Dodge Charger with that light flashlight.
That bitch mean. I like that bitch. That's his girlfriend.
Alright. So still November 17th, 2021. You have at 1:26:29, you have Cornelius Smith places an outgoing call to his girlfriend Angela Arnold.
Let me back you up there. Whose phone was Cornelius using?
So he is utilizing Justin Johnson's phone.
What's
So
up, D?
Would it be more private to understand that you're privy to information?
Oh, yeah?
Obviously, that came
Oh,
in
shit.
the investigation.
Correct.
But would it be more accurate to say
We're going to cover that
Justin
next.
Johnson's phone contacted Angela Arnold's phone at 1:26, 1:28, 1:28 that afternoon?
Yes, he would. With one text message, so 2 outgoing calls and 1 outgoing text message.
And who is Angela Arnold?
This is going to be Cornelius Smith's call.
He probably rating their
That outgoing
relationship to
text,
Diddy.
which is,
I don't think his ass
this
going to
came
jail.
from Angela Arnold's actual
I'd be
physical
surprised.
phone, so
That'll prove me wrong.
At 1:28:50, that text, it's the Haven Court address.
Is this again to be hyper technical and accurate here? Justin Johnson.
Yo, Justin Johnson is tripping, yo. You don't never get this many people involved in a crime. Like, he getting all these people involved in a crime. Now, if they was to go back and they was to interrogate every single one of these people, he'd have been fucked over. I'm surprised ain't none of them testifying in court.
Angela Arnold, 4752 Haven Court.
That's correct. So it's an incoming text message from 901-236-1625.
Next slide.
Next slide is just shows the call log. So you have a outgoing call from the 901-236-1625, so Justin Johnson's cellular phone number, to Angela Arnold's cellular phone number. And then you have I've got on here as well, because we had her call detail records that just showing that incoming call coming from Justin Johnson's cellular device. And then at 2:07:15 p.m., you have, so this is going to be Angela Arnold's cellular device is now sending an outgoing text.
Hey, Dio,
to
his spread
Johnson's
misinformation.
cellular device. And it's going to be, this is C, bruh, send me, bruh, numbers so I can get my phone.
And who is C?
C is going to be Cornelius.
Probably did.
C.
And this was, I don't even know that we need to review these last two slides, but you also printed out the cellular device information for Treon Ingram's phone and for Angela Arnold's phone. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. On those reports.
Now, you mentioned something about Justin Johnson's messages, call logs.
I don't even know who that is, man.
You said they've been deleted?
That's correct. They were not there. You look at call detail records, you can't delete those. And so we were able to see he was utilizing his phone, he was communicating with people. I think as you saw his mother calling and things
I was
like
wrong.
that. And those communications.
You must ain't watched the live. You must ain't watched the live later on that day. I was the first person to say he got paid 50K. What you talking about, Kirk?
Just sort of a mix of questions here that
No. Watch the video I put out later on that day.
I think I moved on
Later on that night.
from the phones. With regard to Mr. Johnson,
Everybody didn't know it.
questions.
Every single blog page put out he got paid. Yo, on that live, it didn't even come out on that. It didn't even come out on that live. What are you talking about? It came out later on. That live ended with that was the last information we got. I went back and did a live at 11 o'clock and picked up where we left off and found out that he got paid 50K. I know that. Kirk, come on, don't start there, y'all. I got a whole video saying it.
Rap videos that he made?
I got a whole video, y'all. Go to my page.
Videos on his phone? I did. Did you observe in those rap videos that he has tattoos on his hands?
I did.
Have you yourself observed that he has tattoos on his hands?
Yeah.
Did you observe in those rap videos that he's left-handed or right-handed?
He's right.
Did you strike that? Did there come a point in this investigation while you're the case officer on it in which law enforcement wanted to find Mr. Johnson?
No, everybody didn't know. Then why on every blog page that day, extending it till tomorrow, the next day, they would say he got $800? You just want me to be raw. Every blog page, say Cheese posted, No Jumper posted. Every blog page ran with the narrative that he got $800. Every blog page. I'm talking about blog page. I was the first blog page to say, yo, he didn't get $800. He got 50K for a lawyer.
Mr. Johnson's house.
Who's we? How many people are you?
Did they go to other locations?
What the fuck, you a team? What are you talking about, we?
Was he found in Memphis?
He was not.
Was information received that he was outside of Memphis?
There was.
Was information received that he had traveled back and forth sometimes from outside of Memphis to Memphis?
That's correct.
Would you describe the attempts to find Mr. Johnson as a manhunt?
Yes, you can say that.
Multiple agencies,
Multiple agencies.
including the U.S. Marshals?
Talking about we. We ain't find out that on my live, because on my live,
Looking
it
for
ended.
Mr. Johnson, was his social media monitored
We found out
by
later
law
on that night.
enforcement in those days that y'all were looking for him? Is he ultimately taken into custody?
Yes.
And do you remember what state he was taken into
I
custody?
think it was Minneapolis.
Indianapolis.
Man, you playing word semantics, bro.
Were the murder weapons in this case ever recovered?
They were not.
You just trying to make me wrong. We got it right. I ain't report on that. We using a live
Are you
video.
familiar that the car on
I ain't do no.
Bradley was
Find a
recovered, is that
video.
correct?
Find the uploaded video on my page where I say Justin. When I say Cornelius Smith only got $800. Find it. I cash app you $50. You can find one video on my page where I say that. Man, my numbers say different.
And
Pimping.
that's the address you mentioned.
I'm doing just as good as the rest of them niggas.
Mr. Johnson.
My live stream from that day got 115K.
Found in between there, back in the 1174.
Earlier in this trial, there was a case officer on this case before you, is that correct?
That's correct.
Terrence Dabney, who retired?
Yes.
Earlier in this trial, Mr. Dabney was asked about testing that was done on the car on Bradley.
I'm almost at 1 million views. I'm almost at 1 million views this
Was
month.
there information that the car had been cleaned and wiped down?
Yes.
Charlene, what it is, baby?
Was crime scene performed on the car?
It was.
Would it be fair to say that there were fingerprints found in the car?
There were.
Cornelius Smith, Kirsten Gardner, Triana, is that correct? Was there information or evidence that the perpetrators of the Dolph murder were wearing gloves?
Other than surveillance, yes.
They all surveillance video, right? You
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah. Thought you meant DNA testing or something on the car.
Fingerprints found on the car, even though it had been cleaned.
Correct.
We know the people who got in the car at the time of the homicide are getting out of the car and in the car were.
Oh, goodness.
Other testing that was done on the car was
No bet. Fuck you, a gang member. Get the fuck out of here. They may be laying on you in here,
testing
man.
on chapstick was performed. Is that correct?
Don't delete them though, y'all. Let them stay.
And
Cause I'm gonna lay on them
some of
eventually.
these results, would they have come in after?
No, don't get them.
this
Let them rock.
Yes, that's completely possible. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Were you aware that
Probably a blogger.
on the
What blog
chapstick
page you run,
that was
Kirk?
found in the car, Treon Ingram's DNA is found on chapstick?
Yes, it is.
Were you aware that during the investigation, they tried to search the Mercedes to find what may or may not be blood?
That's correct.
Were you aware that they took samples of that stuff?
Yes.
Were you aware they also took what could be called touch
Because he
scans?
probably a blogger.
And were you aware that that stuff was sent to TBI
Yes, it was.
with inconclusive results, either
Why do I need an Apple laptop?
obtained
I
or
don't even
not
deal with Apple.
to make any sort of comparison, or just simply inconclusive results?
That's correct.
Do you know where Pressure World is?
All right, Cash App Baltimore Swags at the bottom.
Lamar.
It's right by Lamar.
Appreciate the
In the
support.
Lamar Sims area. Does that location bear any sort of significance in this case?
It does. That's where it was supposedly Cornelius Smith met with.
It's a damn shame the hate you get for being real. If I was a fuck boy and I was telling y'all Woody was the greatest and Charleston White talk real shit, he'll love everything I say. But since I'm being real, when you be real, you find haters. That's all. He like the fuck boy shit. Oh yeah. I had to throw the Cartiers on today, man. What it is? Yeah. Oh yeah, D. That's how D rocking. All right. I ain't know D was rocking like that. That's crazy.
His actual phone that he left in the car after the homicide.
And that, as you
Hey,
said,
D, you over here trying to promote channels?
Is that correct? Gomez charged in this case?
I am.
Ms. Smith's charged in this case?
He is.
Mr. Johnson's charged in this case?
That's correct.
Can you tell us why Big Jug is not charged in this case?
He is deceased.
Who died? Oh, yeah, who died, y'all? Hold up.
You aware that Mr. Gomez charged in this case?
I am.
Ms. Smith's charged in this case?
He is.
Mr. Johnson's charged in this case?
That's correct.
Can you tell us why Big Jug is not charged in this case?
He is deceased.
Oh, Big Juck was gonna be charged, y'all. Big Juck would have been charged with the death of young Dolph if he didn't get killed. Hey, this conspiracy theory is gonna run crazy with that. Y'all heard that? The conspiracy theorist is gonna run crazy with that. If Big Juck wasn't murdered, he'd have been charged in young Dolph's death. You heard it here first, man. Subscribe to the channel, man.
That's all my questions.
Man, Charles City, you already know, y'all. And look, you got a fuckboy in here trolling. Man, these motherfuckers be copying me, man. Ain't nobody giving out better information on these cases than Keep It G News in my chat, because we on their door alone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So, Detective Browning, my name's Luke Evans. I think we've spoken before.
We have.
All right, so I've got
Look
a
at
few
my
more
man
questions
right here.
for you today.
Shorty a beast.
Just to follow up on some of the things you've testified to. So, if I understand it, you took over for Sergeant Dabney as the lead case agent or lead detective on this case.
I wouldn't say lead. It was more like we're a support team at MGU, but I was one of several lead
What up, y'all?
investigators on that team. Dabney and others still.
See, I don't like this camera.
Until it turned into more of a conspiracy thing, and then as a unit, we kind of.
Yeah, I don't like that camera, y'all.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure they appreciate you not trying to take all the credit.
That's a lot of work for one man, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, hold up too, y'all. I looked him up. Luke Evans. They gave him a 4.7 on reviews for attorneys in Memphis area. Like, he's a very good attorney. That's why he's showing out.
So, couple of things. Were you working the case at all? November
Hey, D, come on with the bullshit, D.
17th, when the homicide first occurred?
No, I was not.
Okay. How far down
you
the
doing
road
that for
is
my
it
channel.
when you get involved?
Sometime around in the beginning of December, somewhere in mid-December.
Of 21?
Yeah.
Okay, so early on.
Oh yeah, early on it wasn't in November. I think it was in training when it happened, and then when we came back, some of my team they were on the scene and were assisting as it started to grow. You need assets and manpower and things of that nature. That's when we started getting more involved.
Okay. So,
Hey, Kennedy, what it
a couple
is?
of things about the
Hey,
phone
Kennedy,
and the
you know-
exhibit that was put in.
They know we on a rise and they can't do nothing about it. They get nervous. They know the dynamic rate changed. That's what it is, y'all. Dynamic real rate take back over. The fake had a long run, putting out bullshit and false narratives. We getting back to the truth nowadays, man.
Where you did a PowerPoint essentially going through some of those phone records. And you talked about this some with Mr. Hagerman when there was calls that said Cornelius Smith calls Angela Arnold, and it was from Mr. Johnson's phone, right? So, and he made a point to say, like, look, just to be very accurate,
Right.
all you can really say is Justin Johnson's phone contacted that person.
I told you that's what he was gonna say.
There's several other places in your report where you reference that Justin Johnson called individuals, right? But you can't say that Mr. Johnson necessarily placed those calls.
What I told y'all.
No, just that his cellular device placed those.
What I told y'all was gonna be his angle. Man, I should have been a defense attorney, man.
Unless you take maybe the one on the elevator, clearly he was on the phone.
That one. For instance, you made a reference to a call to Big Joke or Anthony Mims and a FaceTime attempt. That you interaction, I think is what you called it. You can't say who initiated that call or.
My bad, y'all. I'm leaning toward guilty, but it can go either way. It can go either way, man. I got charges, man, like serious charges on my record.
FaceTime interaction, correct? Only that it was something that occurred on that phone.
Yeah, I was basing it off testimony that was given to me by other, cooperating defendants and witnesses and things of that nature.
I can't even do DoorDash.
Based on the phone records, not getting into what other people
Yeah, the
would call
record
this point.
itself, just an interaction between his device and Anthony Mims' device.
Because you would agree with me, when you start relying on other cooperating defendants, you're relying on them to be
I know the
truthful,
lawyer's doing a great
right,
job.
about their
Great
interactions.
job.
Always.
Right? And they're not always truthful about their interactions. Okay?
That's why we like the phone.
Right?
It's
And
definitely
so
no concrete
in
evidence.
this case, there's multiple instances where somebody's claiming to be using someone else's phone, right? Like,
Oh, okay,
yeah, like the reason you said Cornelius Smith called Angela Arnold, right?
correct, yeah. It is phone.
Mr. Jamarcus Johnson having Mr. Johnson's phone for a period of time, according to his testimony, and utilizing that phone, right? And Mr. Johnson wasn't the one, according to Mr. Jamarcus.
I think he stated more when we interviewed him that he was utilizing it on behalf of just like
Sure.
doing three-way calls. So I
Sure,
don't know
but
if they count.
he's got the phone, right? Not Mr. Johnson. And that's Marcus, he's got the phone, right? Not Mr. Johnson personally. So there's other people taking other people's phones for whatever reason, at least on one occasion, not even being in the same location as that person, right? But when you're purely looking at call data, all you can say is this phone did this action,
Correct.
right?
This phone made that contact in this phone, yeah.
And talking about, and I'm not asking you what someone said, but we talked about cooperating defendants in this case, one of which you met with was Hernandez Govan.
Correct.
On at least 2 occasions, correct?
Correct.
And he came in and gave you information about this case.
That's correct.
And he also did that, he had an attorney present, right?
Yes.
And he did that pursuant to an agreement, right, where he had protections, what we call a proffer agreement, where he got to come in and say what he wanted to say without his words being used against him. Isn't that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Right? And you understand that to mean that some people call that kind of a queen for a day agreement. He's allowed to come in,
Tell the truth.
hopefully, right?
Well, that's on him because then he loses the proper agreement.
Right. Right. And that's the risk, right? People come in and lie.
That's his risk then.
Right.
Right?
But the assumption is he tells the truth under a proffer agreement, and when he's telling law enforcement in that meeting those words, they can't come in and use those words against him, right? It's a form of something called use immunity, right? They can't use those words.
So we already know Cornelius Smith lied in this proffer agreement. He pointed out the lies in Cornelius Smith agreement. It seems like he ready to do the same thing with Hernandez Govan. Now I never looked up with what's the ramifications. Like, all right, if a person is caught lying in the proffer agreement, I know it messed up their agreement, but I didn't get a chance to look up how does that affect in court. You understand? Like, if you lie in the proffer agreement, yeah, it mess up his plea deal, or it mess up his agreement. But how does that bode for the the defendant who they're using the proffer agreement against? I ain't looked that up yet, y'all. I gotta figure that out. Because he highlighted that with Cornelius Smith. Same type situation.
Now,
Like, does it null and void?
moving forward from some of the phone information,
Hope I explained that right.
When you're looking at this case, obviously you're looking at the video, right? And it shows the video at Makita Cookie, right? And it shows a Bass Pro Shop, what looks like a Bass Pro Shop hat, right?
That's correct.
And you see a similar hat at Concourse, Crosstown video, correct?
Yeah, identical hat.
Okay. Well, you say identical, but let me ask you, did you recover the hat? Right. Very popular hat.
Hey, yo.
It's distinct.
Distinctive, no doubt, right? It's Bass Pro Shop, but a very popular hat. I mean, almost a stone's throw from here is one of the biggest Bass Pro Shop in the world.
Yo, he is a great attorney, man.
Well,
That was not a common thing at that time, I don't think, to see rappers wearing the Bass Pro Shop that I saw.
That was race. That was a stereotype like a motherfucker.
For a living, when you do all types of situations where you're keeping up with
I mean,
videos and what you've got.
What type of stereotypical shit is that?
so you're aware that a rapper named Travis Scott has his own, like, signature Bass Pro Shop hat?
Oh,
Right.
shit.
No, I did not.
Hey, yo, this thing crazy.
So,
Yo.
and people like Gwen Stefani have gone on Instagram and posted themselves in a Bass Pro Shop hat,
No, I didn't know that.
right? And so, kind of a trend, a popular trend, right? Those people are posting it. I mean, Gwen Stefani doesn't live in Memphis that I know of.
Yeah, I mean, if you say it is,
Right.
I just have not seen it when it came. That just wasn't a common hat that I observed in our investigations and just things,
Right.
you know.
And- well, and
So
even,
Gwen Stefani,
so,
you know what I mean?
well, some people like the voice that you use, right?
I'm not hating on it.
And so, during your investigation, you interviewed at least one individual from the Makita Cookie that identified a person and said he always wears a Bass Pro Shop hat.
I didn't interview. I don't know what interview you're talking about.
Well, do you remember? Would you have reviewed the other interviews in this case? Were you?
Yeah, there was a lot of interviews, but I don't remember somebody being identified. I could be wrong, but I just don't recall that ever happening.
So I'm going to pass you something to refresh your recollection.
Okay.
And
Damn, yo, he a hell of an attorney,
a
man.
highlighted portion there in the middle, what looks like an interview that was done by Detective, I think, then Sergeant Dabney.
He probably the best lawyer I've seen. I think he better than Brian. Yo, he's doing better than Brian Steele.
Do you see what I'm referring to?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was at least one person interviewed, and I'm not going to state this fellow's name.
He doing way better than Brian Steele.
Because I don't know.
Burglarizing Walmarts with a Bass Pro hat.
Something, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, but there's a
I
guy out
didn't
there.
even see a reference to a murder or anything about that. But
Well, I mean, some guy running around in a Bass Pro Shop hat, right? So, popular hat, whether
somebody,
say again.
according to somebody, I guess I don't remember interviewing that person or even seeing that interview.
But I mean, no doubt you looked at it. If the interview happened, there's a report here of it from Detective Dabney, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I
Now,
think the state. But
the white Mercedes.
he do federal cases.
Did it have any bullet holes in it?
I think it did in the rear. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Actually, 60% of his cases are federal.
What about inside? Were there any indications of a bullet hole or?
There might have been. I can't recall. I think the window might have been busted out.
Okay.
3 or 4 years. I haven't reviewed everything.
Now, I'll ask you this question about cameras. You're aware that as soon as Bradley Street became a place of interest, where cars found on Bradley, that detectives went out and canvassed that area to talk to neighbors.
They only got 13 likes, y'all.
To see if they had any information.
Man,
Also,
rest in peace to young
see if they had
Dolph,
cameras.
man. Long live Dolph, king of Memphis.
As you sit here today, has there ever been camera footage produced from anywhere on Bradley?
No, I know they knocked on all the doors, but I didn't see anywhere where they were able to recover any actual video from the Bradley Street.
And do you have any direct knowledge of someone knocking on Hernandez Govan's door?
I mean,
Hey, yo. Y'all know we haven't found out yet? Yo, we still haven't found out yet in day 3. How did Hernandez Govan get arrested? We still haven't found that. Yo, that's strange. Like, how is it in day 3? We still haven't found out how did Hernandez Govan get arrested? Where did his name come from? Like, we didn't find none of that out yet. We don't even know how these guys got arrested. That's strange, man. That's real strange. Like, what sparked the investigation? How did these? I'm thinking, you know, there was a lot of witnesses, but they never identified how these guys became suspects. Suit the charm city vet for the $5 super sticker or super chat. Whatever. I don't know which one it is.
Supplement where they're going and
Appreciate it, bro.
But some of those supplements aren't that detailed as far as what actually interacted. Looked like either they didn't answer the door, or they didn't hear or see anything. Was the common answer they were getting, and so it would have been pretty significant to get some type of video from Bradley.
One thing I can say though, my bad y'all, but one thing I can say, they've been very secretive about their witnesses, you know, and I get it, you know, a lot of people done lost their life behind this Dolph shit, so they all protecting their witnesses. Maybe that's why we didn't hear about it, but it's still strange.
Any point in your investigation, as you sit here today, have you ever been made aware of any camera footage possessed by Hernandez Govan? And that would be important, right, if he had cameras facing that abandoned house on Bradley Street, correct? And something that if law enforcement found out or knew he had cameras, you would have acted on to try to get that footage if it existed. And you don't have anything like that.
Hernandez Govan withholding evidence. Yo, remember y'all, in the proffer, you gotta tell the absolute truth. You can't leave nothing out in the proffer agreement. You gotta remember that. It's important.
One moment, Judge.
Yeah, they is. They're definitely doing better hiding people. But overall, he's doing better than, like, yo, I would hire him over Brian Steele any day. And Brian Steele got, you know, he probably got paid a couple $1 million for that case. But the way he is representing Justin Johnson, man, top tier. Like, he should, regardless of what happened with this case, Justin Johnson cannot complain.
Your Honor,
You had-
ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we will rest our case in chief.
You had top-notch representation.
We're at a point where we've got to take one of those breaks to take care of some legal matters. Shouldn't be very long. Give us a statement recess.
We'll stand at recess.
They ready to go into a recess.
I'll submit.
Hold on. Missing something. Hold up, y'all. They're going to the recess. Man, shit, Reed, you ain't been watching this? Man, his lawyer is crushing that case, man. Yo, you gotta remember, reading all his lawyer is supposed to do is poke holes. Like, yo, he putting bullet holes in the state case. Bullet holes. When they brought up the evidence, when they seen him going in and out his mother apartment, they never seen him get in the car. They never seen him get out the car. Yo, that is important, yo. Just because you see this car pull up and you see him walking into the building, that don't necessarily mean he was driving that car. When they talked about the cell phone pings, them cell phone pings not absolute. Them cell phone pings can be anywhere in a 2-mile radius. So just because his phone ping where Dolph was murdered at, that don't necessarily mean he was there. That just means he was somewhere around. The state brought up the cell phone in general. That Justin Johnson's cell phone called Cornelius Smith, called Juk. Yo, but that don't mean Justin Johnson was using the phone. Like, yo, that's what the defense attorney is supposed to do. The defense attorney is supposed to poke holes in the state's case. It's not to prove anything. The state got to prove his case beyond a reasonable doubt. The defense attorney's job is just to poke holes. You know? Boop, 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 boop. Eventually that motherfucker leaking everywhere. It's water all over the place. The whole bag didn't rip. You feel me? Oh yeah, see, you only watched that one day. He did a good job with him too. Like, yo, the man been doing a great job, yo. A great job. Like, you can't. You know, some people get back on appeal because their representation wasn't top notch. Justin Johnson can't say that. No, he can't say that. This man doing his thing, man. He doing his thing. Now, whether he win or lose, that's up to the jury. But he's doing his thing, yo. And there's nothing really tying him to the crime. Yeah, he definitely, yo. He killing this case right now, man. I'll hire him over Brian Steele any day. Any day. Man, imagine him in that YSO trial. Oh my God. He'd have crushed that trial.
So,
yeah, that is true, Jay Davis. That's true.
Rule 29, I make a motion for judgment of acquittal as to all counts in the indictment, specifically conspiracy to commit murder first degree, convicted felon in possession of a firearm. Now, y'all, this is just protocol. This protocol. Every lawyer is going to file a motion for acquittal mid-trial. That's just protocol. So you can't really take this, you know, that's just protocol. Elements of each, I would submit that the state is felt to put on sufficient evidence to allow any rational trier of fact to find it guilty beyond reasonable.
Why do you do that? Why they mute it?
Judge, I'll submit this to the court largely because the courts have the ability to sit through all the evidence thus far.
Now this is for appeal purposes.
In perfect position to obviously rule on this motion without me belaboring the point. But I would specifically hit the issue of the conspiracy. I would argue to the court that based on the proof that we have thus far, there is insufficient proof of any agreement prior to the homicide that would allow the jury to ever, any rational trier of fact, to find him guilty of conspiracy to commit first degree murder. Essentially, what we've got is Mr. Smith testifying that the only times that the murders were discussed, according to him, between him, Govan, and Juk, Mr. Johnson was not there. He had one conversation with Mr. Govan and Mr. Mims.
Yeah. He
At
going,
Mr.
yeah.
Govan's house, and he testified, I believe, that he had another conversation with Mr. Govan with others present, but Mr. Mims was not present. Neither time was Mr. Justin Johnson present for those conversations. And although we had interactions occurring on the cell phone prior to the incident between Mr. Smith and the cell phone from Mr. Johnson, there's not any evidence before the court that would be sufficient to establish a criminal agreement.
There ain't no proof.
As it relates to Justin Johnson.
Ain't no proof. You don't got him on wiretap saying that.
Direct and circumstantial proof in this case with regard to various counts. Direct proof from Cornelius Smith. Taking up issue with the conspiracy first, Mr. Smith stated that he was present for times that Joke and Mr. Govan
No, it's not
were
Govan.
soliciting and agreeing and planning the murder of Dolph and the other artists. He testified in court in front of the jury that the plan that day was for he and Johnson to drive to Westwood to this turkey drive and kill one of the PRE artists, whoever that was going to be.
Remember, y'all, it was a hit on the whole PRE. Like, this just wasn't a hit on Dolph. It was a hit. Every single PRE member had a price tag on their head. So when they went out that day, they didn't go out specifically looking for Dolph. They went out looking for any one of them, and they happened to find Dolph.
As happenstance would have it, they came upon Dolph, and we saw the video for ourselves. I think it's more than sufficient proof of an agreement and an overt act taken by Mr. Johnson in furtherance of the conspiracy. Likewise, for the first degree murder, Your Honor heard the direct proof of Cornelius Smith, who stated he was there, and Mr. Johnson, he were the two that killed Dolph. I think that alone, accomplice testimony is not even required to be corroborated anymore pursuant to our Supreme Court decision just a few months ago.
It definitely got to be
There's plenty of
corroborated some more.
corroboration anyway. Circumstantially, we've seen Mr. Johnson at Crosstown in the Mercedes-Benz with the outfit on.
You heard what he said?
And
Circumstantially. You heard what he said, right?
after the murder at Haven Court, and Your Honor has seen, the jury has seen, in my opinion, overwhelming evidence, but even just taking the evidence in the light most favorable to the state, I believe Your Honor has jury questions with regard to all three of these offenses.
Judge, the only thing I would add about conspiracy is there's clearly some evidence of an agreement.
I don't know.
Mr. Govan and Mr. Smith, based on his testimony, where I believe it insufficient is the link between Mr. Smith and to what degree there was any. They said that's what they were doing, but the degree to which there's proof that Mr. Johnson, assuming what he says is true, was even aware of those talks about that agreement. According to Mr. Smith, he had no prior plan to go do that day. They were, according to him, they were going somewhere else to Westwood, and that Dolph happened upon them. So the issue becomes there's no proof before the court that there was any advanced knowledge by Mr. Johnson of any $100,000 value.
In the light most favorable to the state, the court has sat for the last couple of days watching the proof as everyone has. And I have seen both direct and circumstantial evidence. The court believes as to all three counts. As to the conspiracy, where the defense says there's insufficient proof of any agreement prior to the murder, the court heard and everybody else heard Mr. Smith speak about the meeting that he was present for at Govan's house between he, Govan, and Jook, where they spoke about the murder of Dolph. Mr. Johnson was not present for that. Mr. Smith said that. But there was also Mr. Smith's testimony where he spoke about them being present, them being Mr. Smith and Mr. Johnson being together the day, November 17th, the day of this homicide, where their goal for the day was just to go out and find somebody of the PR chief.
He had a chopper too. He picked the chopper up after that.
Young Dolph's recording label. And their goal was to strike out to find someone. They happened on Dolph. And we saw the video once they pulled up. I believe the state's made a prima facie case between those arguments and the testimony of Mr. Smith and the videos that we saw Mr. Johnson's actions there. I believe the state has made a prima facie case, and now these are questions for the jury to reconcile.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So she denied the motion.
So
Yeah, but that's
next question
protocol.
is for you and your client. Do you have any proof?
So, Judge, I'd like to have an opportunity to meet my client briefly, and then I'll come back up.
He had a 40 on him.
Stand in a brief recess.
Court stands in recess.
He had a 40 on him first. Yeah, so she denied the motion. Like, of course, they always going to deny the motion. Those motions are really for just in case you get found guilty. That's for the appeals process. So that was just protocol. Every judge, every lawyer going to do it. It's protocol after the case is winding down. Look, before this gets to the jury, we filed a motion for acquittal. State ain't previous case. So basically, the judge just said, no, I think it's enough evidence. We're going to let it go to the jury and let the jury decide. But yeah, he had a 40 first. Yo, Dolph's brother was shooting back while they were shooting at Dolph. Paula, you want to know that live? If you look at that video again, you'll see Justin Johnson like duck down. By the time Dolph's brother ran out the store, his gun was cocked. It was locked. He ain't had no more bullets in it. So he ran to the car, dropped that gun, grabbed the chopper, and chased him down with the chopper. Yeah, that's what happened. His brother shot back in real time. That's how Cornelius Smith got hit. Because they was focusing on Dolph. And it looked like they didn't do no real homework. Because they didn't even know he was with Dolph. So the whole time they shooting Dolph, he's shooting that down. You understand? Like they didn't even, because if they was more aware, they could have killed both of them. With Dolph brother having a strap in his hand. But Dolph and them, like, all right, remember when we first heard of this, we thought that Dolph and them didn't see him. Dolph definitely got a chance to run. He got a chance to run. Because if you look at that video in Makita's Cookies, when the girl ran off, and then the video moved back up, and you can see out the window, Dolph or his brother is not there. So they didn't get killed at the counter. Dolph ran, and he got killed he got killed in the store, but not at the counter. But his brother definitely shot back. Definitely shot back. But I don't know, y'all. Like, it can go either way. I wouldn't be surprised either way. I wouldn't be surprised if he's found guilty. More than likely, he probably will be found guilty. But I won't be surprised if he beat it either. I wouldn't be surprised. Defense attorney did a great job. Salute to him. I wonder why Hernandez Govan didn't have to testify. That's strange. Yo, and I swear, yo, how did they do this whole case without explaining to us how they got these boys? How did Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith become suspects? How did they become suspects? How did Hernandez Govan get arrested? What made them look into him? Because he the first one that told. Hernandez Govan told before Cornelius Smith. That actually provoked Cornelius Smith to tell. He said, I don't understand, man. Govan was telling anyway, so I said, fuck it, I might as well join the Rat Pack. Yeah, Rob, he definitely a good lawyer. Yeah, but you know, McGrave, if he do beat it, he definitely mincemeat. Like, he ain't going to survive. You already know that. Them boys, they probably do him like they did KTS Dre in Chicago. They're gonna catch him coming out of court. Oh, he said the Benz. So what you're saying is they got the Benz, they fingerprinted the Benz. No, but that can't be the case because Justin Johnson fingerprint's not in the Benz. Man, we need to get rid of drill music. Drill music is the biggest threat right now. Yeah, but they never specified. Like we can all we watched the whole trial. They never really specified how everybody got arrested and what made them suspects. It's like they started off in the middle of the investigation. It's like they started off the trial with everybody arrested. And then they just showed you how we built our case after that. That's what it sounded like. But they said it was a lot of witnesses. I'm thinking somebody talked. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I know, man. Dolph was a solid dude, man. Suit to India. Yeah, I think the people. I think the people told. I think the community told, and they just protecting them. So they just like left that shit out. It probably was discussed in prelims or preliminary stages. That we ain't gonna get into that. We just gonna, lay out our case. Cause they definitely didn't discuss unless I missed it. I probably missed a few minutes of the trial. We got everything documented. And we ain't missed that much of it. Ain't missed that much of it at all. But yeah, I wish the prosecutor was too dull to me. That might hurt the case. AJ, in the back of the house where they found the Benz, somehow the connection happened. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's still a gap in between that. That's what I'm saying. It's a gap in between. Like, all right, y'all got the Benz, but how did everybody go to jail? Man, that whole situation was stupid, man. But AJ, what happened is they brought up another phone analyst, and he specialized in retrieving data, text messages, and phone calls and things like that. But the defense did a good job of making that evidence seem minuscule. Because, all right, you got his phone contacting his phone, but you can't definitively say that was him. And then he brought up the fact that Justin Johnson gave the phone to the brother. So the brother had the phone, was for a while contacting people. Similar to what Y&W Melly did. That was why it was hard to pinpoint Y&W Melly. Because, all right, you got my phone calling his phone, but you can't say that was me calling him. That's my case with something similar like that. Like, yo, I don't give a fuck if my phone on his phone or not. You can't say it was me. I don't know who did it. Phone records, like, yo, but the phone record shit don't really mean nothing. What happens a lot of times is people start telling on themselves. They get intimidated by the evidence and they start telling on themselves. Now you gave the state the whole case. But all you gotta do is deny that shit. I don't know who called that boy. Fuck, anybody could have called him. People, I give people my phone all the time. Man, he probably is, yo. I know he in there stressing, especially trial time. He probably going back to the cell praying to the heavens. Cause it ain't worth it, yo. At the end of the day. It ain't worth throwing your life away, man. It ain't even worth going through this much stress. Like, yo, this shit is stressful on everybody. Internet probably did tell on straight drive. For real, the internet definitely solved it quick. They probably did get it from the internet. You're right, McGravy. They probably looked at the internet and then built their case around what the internet was saying. Maybe that's what they did. Maybe that's what they did, yo. Maybe that's why it's the gap there. That could be it. Nay. What's up, Nay? That could be it. Maybe that's why they're not explaining it. The internet put us on to them and we just connected the pieces, you know? That's possible. Wow. Phone geeking again. The fuck is this? Oh, man. Fuck if you that stupid. Yeah, they in recess. Crazy thing, they got the right people. How weird is that? Why all these cameras not hard to catch? Yeah, you right, yo. Crime, yo, you can't get away with that type of shit no more, man. Man, if they had this type of technology when I was doing wild shit, we'd have been donezo. You feel me? Like straight up, we'd have been done. But they ain't had this type of technology in the early 2000s. This shit came a little bit later, like around 2008, 2009. Oh yeah. Then the music video. Maybe y'all, the internet probably did. That is crazy, y'all. That's a good point. The internet probably really did put the police on. Motherfucking internet. That's crazy. I didn't think about that. Because it gotta be something, yo. Because we watched the whole trial, yo. Like, they didn't even talk about the investigation leading up to them guys. They just put Cornelius Smith on the stand and he just was telling. Yeah, ain't nobody from CMG. Like I was telling everybody, yo, if like I was telling everybody, yo, if it was an investigation into CMG, it died with Juck. It died with Juck. Yo, Gotti probably really is like, you know what I mean? He probably really, you know, I know he heard that his brother died, yo, but I'm telling you, he probably really like feel kind of at ease. Juck was fucking everybody over, man. He wanted to stay in the streets. Gotti wanted to be a businessman. This shit ain't gonna work. This partnership ain't gonna work. I'm trying to move past the streets. You trying to keep us in the streets. Eventually, the streets overpowers everything, y'all. Like I said all the time, you can't be in the streets and do anything positive. Like, it's never gonna work, y'all. Especially if you deep in the streets and to the point you involve yourself in murders and robberies, and man, the streets gonna step on anything else you doing. Yeah, that was a sloppy move. It was a stupid move. That's why I said it had to have been built off anger. It had to have been built off hate because he didn't use his brain. He didn't use his brain. It probably was, you know, Dolph was trolling. You know, they couldn't get him. That shit probably was just enraging him and enraging the hate even more. To where he just did something stupid. And then he used a known rat to solicitate the murder. A known rat. Yo, Hernandez Govan was a rat. Yeah, they definitely still doing business. You can't take that away from him at all. For real? What's up? Decatur, Mr. Decatur. He should have stopped dissing him, yo. Should have stopped dissing him. Like I said, yo, somebody was supposed to get in between that. It's supposed to be an intermediary that respected both them guys, or both them guys had respect for, that was supposed to get in the way. Like I said before, yo, when you got two colossal figures like that, like we talking about two multi-millionaires in the same city, and they go to war, yo, that shit gonna get crazy. Cause everybody got soldiers that's willing to die. Just like you got soldiers willing to die, I got soldiers willing to die too. And if we crash, yo, that shit gonna be a massacre. And that's what it was. Somebody was supposed to jump in the middle of that. Somebody was supposed to see that, observe that situation, analyze that situation, and say, yo, this shit got to stop. Whatever we got to do, this got to stop, yo, because too many people gonna die. Well, I need to return. What you mean this stuff matters? Do matter. This is people dying. The fuck is you talking about? I hate when y'all dummies coming here talking about it do matters, yo. Every death matters. Like, yo, this is what people gotta understand, yo. I don't know how everybody else cover their stories or cover these situations. Yo, but I speak on these situations. Did you hear what I just said? Did you hear the game that I just said? Yo, when two colossal figures getting in a beef, somebody gotta stop it. So you can take this away from Dolph, put it in your city, put it in any city. When it's because it's like that everywhere. If you got two major players in Chicago going to war, yo, it's gonna be mass casualties. So you gotta, if you're a man of integrity, if you're a man that stand on something, yo, you gotta nip that in the bud. If you got the eyes and ears of both these guys, yo, get in between that, yo, because it's not worth it. It ain't worth the death. It ain't worth the bloodshed. It ain't worth the heartache. Like, yo, when I speak, yo, it's bigger than just the situation. I'm speaking to stop these problems in every city. In every city. Not just Dolph versus Yo Gotti. I'm talking about Bill versus Chris. Like, yo, it gotta be somebody to stop that shit, yo, because it's going in bad. Like, yo, this got bad, man. This got bad, man. A lot of people lost their life behind this dumbass shit. Over what? It started off with Dolph didn't want to sign to you. Then next thing you know, he's saying Dolph hit your baby mother. Now it's diss tracks back and forth. Now you got everybody dead. Dolph dead. Jook dead. Black Youngster Brothers dead. CEO Teasy dead. Ain't like, yo. People should have known this. That's what I'm saying. And it's going to be like that in any city. In any city. Man, straight up words of the day, every death matters. Because it do, bro. Like, people be tripping me out when they, I don't know what type shit they be on, man. For real. I ain't on that. I ain't on that, man. Like, yo, you gotta nip that shit in the bud, man. But it's a picture going around with Yo Gotti performing and Young Dolph in the background looking like he hating. A picture can say 1,000 words. Hey, somebody was hating. I'm just talking about the narrative that got spent. Whoever was saying, it don't matter if Dolph was hating or it looked like Gotti and them was doing the most hating because they was the most aggressive with the beef. Like, it didn't seem like, and we don't know what was going on the street level, but it don't seem like that. It don't seem like that Dolph was chasing Gotti around everywhere he went. Like, it looked like it seemed like they was chasing Dolph around everywhere he went. Dolph got shot in Cali. Dolph got shot at in Charlotte. Like, yo, it didn't seem like that, you know? It didn't seem like that. It's just an unfortunate situation, man. And you said Gotti had the radio, Dolph had the streets. Dolph had the wolves. Yeah, it's obvious Dolph had the wolves. Look how the fuck look how he reacted once he died. Them motherfuckers they got on straight gorilla mode. They got on straight beast mode. They do be thinking it's GT out there. Yeah, yo. That's what I'm saying. Yo, somebody should have gotten between them boys, man. Said Dolph wasn't on that. It turned it turned sour when he sleep with his baby mother. Or around the same time, God was bringing Dolph out every show. People forgot that part. All right, well, Dolph was down bad for that if that's how he carried it. You know, down bad for that. Like all this shit is stupid, yo. Like if we gotta. It's all stupid, no matter who started it, what it started from. It's just stupid. Cause look like, yo. You got so many people dead. You got people turning rat. You got straight drop, fuck around, go to prison for the rest of his life. And it's like, yo, for what? Nah, Thug ain't feed his wolves. I don't know. Thug, well, you can tell fuck they you look what the fuck they did. That's why Thug in that situation. Cause he ain't feed his wolves. God feed the streets, man. If you gonna use the streets to propel your career, you gonna have to feed them, or the streets gonna feed off you. That's how that shit go. Now he got more than $800. So he got He got $50K for a lawyer. The blogs ran with that. Then a motherfucker try to come over here talking about I ran with that. I ain't got like one video saying that it was only $800. It's just unfortunate, man. It's an unfortunate situation, y'all. Ain't talk so much. That's gonna get you right. Yeah. Man, somebody should have ended it, yo. Somebody should have gotten between that shit, yo. And that's to say, yo, in any city, yo. Like we had a situation like that in my city. And that shit ended bad. Like it's always going to end bad. It's always going to end with multiple deaths. It's always going to end with people going to prison. Like, yo, that shit gets bad, man. Whenever you got 2 millionaires or 200,000aires going at it, to where so they can just drop money on whoever. I put 20 over here. This person putting 10 over there. Yo, it's going in bad.
A minute to look at this. Mr. Hagerman was just telling me about your prior conversation with him, and he was making a recommendation to the court that makes sense about charging the facilitation because criminal responsibility is being charged.
That's correct. And we had that conversation. I do agree.
Right. He
Who?
convinced me to take criminal attempt out because nobody's arguing that he didn't pass away, that there was no death. So
Agreed.
I'm going to take criminal attempt out, and I'm going to add facilitation. And then the list of the charges the second degree murder will go second.
I haven't looked at everything yet, but what I had scribbled out, Your Honor, is that if we skip count 2 of the indictment, which is the first degree murder count first, I had scribbled out murder first degree as charged. Murder second degree would come next, since it's an A felony with no parole eligibility. Then it would be facilitation murder first degree. Then it
Ooh,
would be facilitation murder second degree.
that's major.
Then it would be, if Your Honor's charging voluntary manslaughter in the state, yes, you are. Voluntary manslaughter.
Damn.
Then it'd be
Yo, but it sound like
voluntary manslaughter.
they took the first degree murder off the table and tried to charge it with solicitation of murder. That's probably a major difference in time. I told y'all, yo, this lawyer is crushing this case, man. Yo, that is major, y'all. I think that's what they saying. We'll see, though.
Actually, it goes voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault, facilitation voluntary manslaughter.
Right, because the aggravated assault is a higher offense than the facilitation.
And then reckless homicide and negligent homicide, I don't believe you can facilitate.
No, did I not take,
Did you check those out?
I took criminally negligent out. And I was thinking about taking reckless out. But I was gonna listen to arguments either way.
I would think that those are obviously accidental homicides. I don't think that any proof could possibly support it. Strangely, though, I think that after you take those out, we usually put a simple assault in them, because I think that simple assault's a lesser included of aggravated assault, which is charged.
Makes sense.
Murder first, murder second, facilitation of murder first, facilitation of murder second, violent man, aggravated assault, facilitation to violent man, facilitation to ag assault. Reckless,
It might be, bro.
The state is asking you not to charge reckless or negligent.
I agree.
so after the facilitation of ag assault, just simple assault.
I think so.
No facilitation to simple assault.
Yeah, I guess so, because you can't facilitate this.
I mean, we're facilitating everything else, so.
Yeah, it is an innocent, you can't
Right.
Right,
facilitate it.
you can. Y'all look at the rest of that. Please.
Yo, so I'm not sure if they added those charges on, as because once they go to the jury, they can pick from certain different charges, or they took off the first degree murder and the second degree murder and added those on. But it sounds like what happened is they just added more charges that the jury can pick from, because the only reason the state would do that is if they don't think they proved this case of first degree murder. So that still bodes well for the defense. Yeah, it do sound like you might get about 10 years.
So I don't understand.
You sound like he might get about 10 years.
You said the placement and facilitation of
Say that again? You don't understand the placement, is that what you said?
yeah, because we have count one, which is conspiracy to commit murder first degree. Are there lesser included offenses to that offense?
Facilitation to the conspiracy.
Man, she probably was scared as shit, bro. Dolph might have moved before she moved. Dolph moved, yo. Dolph didn't sit there.
Oh, but it doesn't say that, does it?
Dolph got a chance to run.
I think I have it labeled wrong. Let me see.
So happy as shit right there. All you gonna do is come on. If he come on, all they gonna do is kill him. He probably better off in jail, for real.
So facilitation to conspiracy is the lesser. It's labeled. It should read facilitation.
It looks like the elements are wrong too, so.
Yo, people, you can learn from another man's court case, Lamar Smith. Like, yo, y'all be ignorant as a motherfucker. You don't think you can learn from another man's court case? You always supposed to learn from other people's mistakes, not just your own. Chant. Yo, so I'm trying to figure out, are they taking first degree murder off the table and replacing it with reckless, reckless homicide or something like that? Solicitation of homicide or something like that? Yeah, BG said that. Yo, if they take first degree murder off the table, he won. Because they really can't prove first degree murder, y'all, because based off of Cornelius Smith's testimony, Dolph they just ran across Dolph. They can't prove that Justin Johnson was in any of these meetings that talked about, the execution of Dolph, the planning of Dolph. Yeah, he said it, but where's the proof? Can't really prove it. That's why the state is bending on the original charges. They bending because they know they didn't do a good job of proving their case. Yeah, it probably could have, bro. It probably could have. It definitely could have, for real. Definitely could have been beat if they ain't snitched. Hey, Rob, I done been through criminal cases, bro. Like these type ones. You feel me? Like I'm not just a blogger talking, y'all. I be trying to explain that to people. Hey Josh, what's up with you, yo? Like, yo, you ain't got nothing else to add to the conversation, bro? Yo, the lawyer did a great job, yo. I've been saying it since the beginning. If y'all can remember in the opening statements, what I say opening statements, y'all? Yo, this lawyer got bravado. He got swag. That's what you need from a defense attorney. Like, yo, for most, if you know about criminal cases, yo, based off the opening statement, you can tell, what type of defense they gonna give with the prosecution evidence. Like, you can tell if it's a strong case or a weak case. And early on, as soon as I heard him speak, and how he articulated his defense, I said, yo, I don't know, the state gonna be in for a long day, cause this guy got it. Y'all remember that first day? That's what I said. Well, not in those words, but that's what I said. Like, yo, this guy is a good attorney. You can tell. You can tell how he carrying it. They trying to. I think they decide lesser charges. I don't know if they're taking first degree murder off the table but they add solicitation of a homicide, which is less than involuntary manslaughter. It carried less time than involuntary manslaughter. So Justin Johnson, shit, he might, he might get 10 years. But I'm not sure if they took first degree murder off or just added that on. But the only reason they would do that is if the state didn't prove its case. The state not comfortable with their case. Because the defense attorney poked holes all in that bitch. Motherfucker, if that was a bag of water, that bitch can burst. You heard me? Anytime they came with something, he came with something. Any evidence they came with, Justin Johnson, defense attorney, came with something better. You know, to discredit the evidence. Even the most explosive evidence, the fucking video camera. That was the most explosive evidence. This man get up there and say, what'd he say? Well, you can't, the timestamps was wrong. The state bungled that part. They bungled it. When they turned the video footage into a reel, it took off the dates. So they had to insert the dates separately. And they messed up on one of the dates. One of the times. It was an hour off. And then when the prosecutors brought the guy there to testify as to the validity of the recording, the defense attorney said, "But you don't know if this is right. You know this is the time frame, but you don't know if the time frame was right. You can't decide that, can you?" He was like, "Yo, I could just go off of what it says." Like, yo, the man's an excellent attorney, man. Excellent attorney, man. And I was telling y'all the whole time how he was gonna go about it. I was surprised about that. I ain't gonna lie. I was surprised about that. He went about that. I thought I ain't gonna lie. I thought that shut the door on Justin Johnson. But everything else, I paused it. Yo, this is what he ready to do. He ready to go this way. He ready to go that way. And that's what he did. Damn near every time. Damn near every time. Damn. But either way though, yo, no matter how much time he get, if Justin Johnson touched the streets, he's a dead man walking. Dead man walking. And it's crazy, right? Because like my man said, who said that? This might be a time where the Slow Grind. I think Slow Grind said that. Yeah, like Slow Grind said, this might be a time where the snitch get more time than Justin Johnson. Because they pled guilty to first degree murder and shit like that. This man might get solicitation of a homicide in the first degree. That carried less time than involuntary manslaughter. Involuntary manslaughter probably carried 20 or 15. What the fuck solicitation of a... Look up what the solicitation of a homicide in the first degree carried in Memphis. Like I said, I don't know if they add in lesser charges or they're replacing it with lesser charges. You say you seen it happen before? I'm sure it does happen. Probably happen a lot. Yo, the best thing you can do, yo, is not say nothing. That's why, yo, it makes no sense to cooperate with these people, man. Like, motherfuckers be scared. Like, yo, if you wasn't down for it, you shouldn't have got in the car, man. Hey, no, let me out. Like, straight up, get out the car, yo. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it anyway. You know, but the sacrifice of your morals and dignity and integrity because you can't stand on your decision making is crazy to me. It's crazy to me, yo. You supposed to be able to stand on every decision you make. Because every decision you make is supposed to be well thought out. It's supposed to be pre-planned. 20 years. That's the max. Yeah, that's serious, man. That's serious. So they probably gonna take out handgun and commission of a felony. They probably knock that off. Either way, it's a win for Justin Johnson. And y'all had bloggers yesterday saying, yo, he done. Da-da-da-da-da. After that live last night, I'm like, I don't know, he ain't, this shit, Lord, this shit, defense attorney killing it. Yeah, it's definitely a win. But I'm still trying, like I'm saying, we can't confirm it or stamp it. Because I'm not sure if they adding that on or I'm not sure if they adding that on or they taking first degree murder off the table. But either way, it shows that the prosecution is not comfortable with the case that they laid out. Either way. That's one thing we know for certain. They wouldn't have did that. They're not gonna add that if they was comfortable with their case. They'd have still firm. First degree murder. Spurs commit first degree murder. Handgun and commission of a felony. Those was the original charges. Man, duty. 8 to 20 years. Yeah, that's a win. That's a win. Shit crazy. Dang. Put on a hell of a performance though. Hell no. Out there use that thing. Let's see. No. I don't like throwing that. Should be poking holes in my wall. Let's see. What? God damn it. I got holes poked out of my wall from that shit. Oh, that was bullshit. That was a good one right there. She's not going in there. Why is not sticking in there? I gotta stand up and do it. Oh, that shit almost got stuck in the wall. I gotta do that shit, man. It's my son shit. I'm a mat. I can play basketball though. And football. Tell me you too much fly. I'm using too much. He said stick the blog. Yeah. Y'all funny as shit. Let me see. It's not sticking. It's not going in there. Man, I don't know how to play that shit, man. Y'all keep saying I'm throwing it too hard. Man, how am I throwing it too hard? So do you hold it from the white part? Or do you hold it from this part? How you gotta hold it? You hold it from this part right here? Then time to try off. How you gotta do it, yo? Do you hold it from here or you hold it from here? Oh, so you hold it from here. Alright. Man, I can't play this shit, y'all. I'm done. Oh, okay. That's alright. Man. I ain't good at darts, y'all. I ain't good at darts. That should just be sitting there. That should be, I got hella holes in the wall fucking around them damn darts. Yeah, I don't know if they coming back or not, y'all, but I would think they gotta come back. Like, we need to know what's going on. What they gonna do with these charges, man? Nope, that's it. That's it, y'all. That is it. Yo, so I don't know what happened, y'all. I don't know what happened, y'all. I don't know if they added new charges and they took some away or they just added new charges. But if you're just coming in, I can say for certain that felicitation of a homicide has been added to Justin Johnson charges, which carries a minimum of 8, a maximum of 20. That is a huge win. And final analysis is the state only does that if they're not confident in their case. Let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. Appreciate everybody that tapped in. Y'all know we go live every day at 11 p.m. Eastern time. We ready to check on social media, see what's going on in the world. It's another day of KBG News, and I'm out.